Welcome back to the channel. This is Feminine Health and Wellness. This is your girl Dominique. I am back at you tonight with another Tea Time After Dark. So I'm going to wait till everybody come in the room. Put a heart in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Welcome to Tea Time After Dark. We're going to get started in a second. I have already brewed my tea, guys. Go ahead. Let me know what you're drinking tonight. Let me know what kind of candle that you're burning. So tonight's topic is going to be about um, workplace. Staying in your feminine energy in the workplace, or remaining in your feminine energy, or removing yourself from toxic people in the workplace. So, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I'm going to be drinking a herbal tea. So, if you are here, please let me know what you're drinking. Let me know what candle you're burning tonight. Righty. All right. So, we're going to get started. Mullein tea, guys. That's what I'm drinking tonight. I am drinking mullein tea in my little Hershey mug. Mullein tea is a herbal infused made from leaves and flowers. Mullein tea is going to help with your respiratory health. Okay. During this season, guys, in my workplace, we have a lot of sickness going around, flu, RSV. I think it's rhinovirus or something like that. And so this is a perfect time of the year to drink mullein tea. That is Mullein, mullein tea. Mullein tea um, is the benefits of it is going to be it's going to support the respiratory system. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Anti-inflammatory properties, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antibacterial. Um, it is going to also it's going to also help with just your overall, immune system, basically. Your overall immune system. Sorry about that, guys. Um, the way you prepare it, you're going to place 1 or 2 teaspoons of dry leaves into your mug or into a tea ball, what's called a tea ball, and I have that right here. So I have 1 to 2 spoons of mullein tea inside of a tea ball. I'm going to place it in here. I've already boiled about 8 ounces of water, um, and I'm gonna sit my tea ball into it, and I'm going to let it steep for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Um, depending on desired strength. Sometimes you can let it steep less, but to get that full strength of the mullein tea that you're going to need to help with those health properties, you're going to steep it from anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So you're going to enjoy this warm tea. You're going to add honey, lemon, or cinnamon if desired. Okay. You can drink 1 to 2 cups of this mullein tea per day, guys. So that is that tea talk right there. So, and I am not going to be burning my infuser tonight, but I am going to be lighting a new candle. that I have in this particular candle, it is called Holiday Greeting. Holiday Greeting. As you can tell, it has that uh-oh, it has that little festive holiday look on it, and it smells like cinnamon and mint. That's what it smells like. Um, Cinnamon and mint. It is very good. It is like refreshing scent. And so I'm gonna light that tonight. I guess I am. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna light that tonight, and I'm gonna enjoy that. So I'm gonna let my mullein tea steep a few more minutes. I had already let it steep about 5 minutes before I came online. I was gonna try to be prepared this time, guys, because usually I come in, I turn it on, and then I fix my tea, I boil it and all of that kind of stuff, and then I let it steep. So tonight I was a little bit more prepared in preparing my tea. So we're going to get into our topic tonight. I am so happy that you guys are tuning in for Tea Time After Dark. I think I have a great topic tonight that we're going to kind of dive in. If you are in a toxic workplace, um, it could be this can be for men or women. I know on my channel I'll talk about health and wellness and feminine health and all of that good stuff. But in this particular talk, this can refer to men or women. So not just women, even though my highlight tonight is going to be a discussion of um, when women lead the room, why feminine dominant workplace can feel toxic, and how to stay in your feminine energy. That is what we're going to be focusing on. How to stay in your feminine energy even when you are in a woman dominant workplace that feels toxic. Okay? I work with a lot of women. It can be great, it can be fun. Don't forget to thumbs up the live if you're here. Don't forget to thumbs up the live. So welcome back. Welcome back to Tea Time After Dark. We're going to talk about the things women feel, but do not always say out loud. Tonight's conversation is a sensitive one, but I feel like it is very important to discuss. Some women notice that some of the more emotional, draining environments that you work in are female dominant workplaces. I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but I work in a female dominant workplace. And the question is, why does that happen? And more importantly, how do you protect your feminine energy without becoming hardened, defensive, or bitter? Okay. So that is what we're going to be diving into. So um, I work with a team of women that are great. I do. But outside of that team of women that I work with, the environment can sometimes be toxic. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys, just some tidbits on how to protect your feminine energy from toxicity in your environment. And so the truth no one likes to say, basically. So first, let's be clear, women are not toxic by nature. However, some people seem to believe that we are, but women are not toxic by nature. But unhealed environments amplify unhealed behavior. And so remember what I said, guys. When you're in your feminine energy, you're going to work on yourself. You're going to work on being a better you. You're going to present yourself in that manner. So that's in any situation, unhealed environment. So, but unhealed environments amplify unhealed behavior. Or I would even say that not necessarily the unhealed environments, but that unhealed person. because you always have that one person on the job that's going to always wreak havoc and always going to cause problems, chaos, you know, just a whole array of things. Just that one person. So I wouldn't say the environment, I would say that person makes the environment toxic. And I work in a wonderful environment. I enjoy the people that I work with, the team that I have. But that one person, not in my team, but outside of that team, can be very, very toxic. So that is what we're talking about. It's always that one person. So don't forget to thumbs up the live, guys. If you're here, put a heart in the chat and thumbs up the live. And if this is your first time here on Feminine Health and Wellness, subscribe to the channel for more health and wellness benefits. Okay. So so in a female dominant workplace, there are often emotional labor overload, okay, competition marked as support, unspoken power struggles, okay, indirect communication instead of clarity. Like I said, that one toxic person, her communication or his communication skills can be terrible intentionally, maybe causing chaos and drama in the workplace. And when too many people feel unseen, unsafe, um, the environment becomes emotionally um, challenged or charged, I should say. Okay, so why does female dominant workplaces become toxic? Well, emotional competition. Some, like I said, that unhealed person that is causing that environment to be toxic is having some kind of emotional competition um, within themselves, and it's going to exude onto other people. In some spaces, success isn't just about performance, it's about attention, validation, and influence. When women are taught to compete subtly instead of collaborative, like working together in the open and comparing, working together, it causes sometimes a toxic, environment in the workplace. So when women are taught to compete subtly, instead of collaborating openly and compares, just working together. So basically, just connecting and working together. So indirect communication instead of direct communication, conversations and issues turned into side comments, passive passive aggressive aggression behavior. Of course, the chatter in the office and the gossip and all of that stuff is always toxic drama, all of that. So this creates confusion and emotional tension in the workplace. And so I'm just kind of going over some different things before I kind of dive into how you can protect your feminine energy, in this um, confusion or emotional tension that's going on in any place, not just the workplace. It can even be in your family. It can be in the workplace, your family. It could be just in a setting of anybody that is, unhealed or having any kind of emotional disconnection, I should say. So, trauma bonding at work. So, sometimes coworkers bond over stress, which is not always good, but this is what happened when you're working in a toxic, you know, excuse me, when you're working in a toxic environment, you're going to bond with those people that may not always agree with that. And so sometimes you're going to, bond with that coworker, over stress. Um, um, you're going to be complaining, or you're going to share dissatisfaction, with the people that are in your group or in your team, or on your team, I should say. So that feels like closeness, but it's actually keeps everyone stuck in a negative environmental loop. So even though you are expressing your dissatisfaction, your complaints, your stress, or whatever, that is trauma bonding in the workplace, guys. That is that constant negative emotional loop that you are creating, even though you think that is good. Oh, okay, we're talking about this, and we're discussing this, and the stress overload, the work overload. We're sharing this, but it is actually trauma bonding in the workplace, and so that is going to be that negative loop. Okay, it's going to be that negative ongoing loop. You're going to get into those little groups and chatter about the stress and the complaint and the dissatisfaction on the job. It's not always good, ladies. It's not always good, man. So masculine survival energy is what it is. So when women feel um, they must prove or overperform or over out hustle to be respected, they shift into a masculine survival mode. So leading to burnout and control issues and emotional exhaustion. So don't get yourself in that position, to feel that you have to prove something on the job or anything like that. So just to make sure that you are kind of pulling back, staying in your feminine energy. It is good to bond with, people and make friends or with coworkers and stuff like that. But when you are trauma bonding at work, it is not a good thing. When you are proving or you're trying to prove yourself on the job or overperform, you're putting yourself in a masculine state, a survival energy, masculine survival energy. So don't do that. Kind of keep away from that. Just keep in mind when you're trying to prove something, or out hustle somebody or outperform someone, that that is masculine energy. Just keep that in mind. So I noticed that you guys are here. Thumb up the live. Go ahead and thumb up the live. I am talking about, you can go back and look at the replay, but what we're talking about tonight is when women leave the room, why feminine dominant workplaces can feel toxic, and how to stay in your feminine energy. So that's what we're talking about tonight. So I'm gonna pause right here. What are you drinking tonight? What are you drinking tonight, guys? Like I said before, I'm drinking mullein tea. It is good. And I am burning a candle that I have. It is called Holiday Greetings. It smells good. It has that cinnamon holiday smell to it. Okay. Okay, so with that, um, trauma bonding and that masculine survival energy, what does it do? What does it do to your feminine energy? In these environment, your feminine energy often gets um, silent, hardened, and distorted into people pleasing. When I learned that, I was like, what? So, um, when you have the trauma bonding at work, I was kind of surprised. It's, it kind of changes over and it starts to people pleasing. So I was like, that's interesting. But as I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because if you're trying to prove yourself in the workplace, or if you're overstressed, or if you are trying to outperform someone, that becomes in that category of people pleasing. Me personally, I do my job, I go to work, I love my job, but I'm not into people pleasing. I do what I came to do, and that is to, work and leave. And that is pretty much what I do and how I feel about my job. And I am so not into pleasing or people pleasing and stuff like that. So just kind of keep in mind to kind of keep yourself, your boundaries and focus on, what it is that you came, and kind of stay out of those little settings where you're trying to prove yourself on the job. And that is kind of like masculine energy anyway. You also may notice yourself becoming hyper vigilant, guarded, and less intuitive, and emotionally drained after work. So that is when you know that you are inhaling, so to speak, those particular traits, because you emotionally drained. I'm not talking about just going to work being tired, but I'm talking about emotionally drained once you leave that job. That is a clear sign, ladies or me or gentlemen, that that is not the job for you. If you are drained emotionally from that job, leave that job. That is not the job for you. I know we need work. I know we have to work, but if it's emotionally draining in any kind of way, it is probably not going to be a good workplace for you. And it's going to cause other ailments in the body and stuff like that. So I know that on these jobs we are faced with a lot of things, but being emotionally drained after work is not good to your mental. Remember, I said on this channel, we always talk about um, taking care of our physical, mental, and spiritual health, emotional health, all of that. Just taking care of your overall health and well-being, and that's what we talk about on this channel. So, if anything is emotionally, physically, or mentally, it is more than likely not good for you. So, that's not weakness, that's your nervous system asking for protection. So when you're feeling mentally drained, that's your sense nervous system asking for protection. So you need to kind of come, step back, reevaluate what you need to be doing, and is this something good for you, right? So we always gotta focus on, what is good for our mental, physical, and health, mental, physical, and spiritual health. Okay, so how to stay in your feminine energy without, you know um without, in the workplace, so without being subjective to all of this negativity. How do you stay in your feminine energy? So feminine energy is intuitive. Okay, you need to you do not need to explain yourself to anyone. Silence is the strategy. Silence is the strategy. So when you're faced with that negative, remember I said it's always that one person in the office or in the workplace that is negative. It's just that one. It could be your supervisor or just that one coworker they won't never get rid of. Just hate to say it. They never get rid of them. They never do. They always stay. They will be there to the duration of time. It's almost like that they love the toxic people or the toxicity that they bring. I don't know which one it is, but they never get rid of them. That's the way it appears sometimes. But the way you want to, protect your energy, don't go back and forth with that person. Stay silent. Ignore them. Stay silent. Because remember, like I said before, those type people, let me say it again. Let me go back. Those type people are um, unhealed, um, and they amplify unhealed behavior. So just keep in mind, they are something's going on with them. They always love to wreak havoc. They always have some type of problem with you, or they always have something going on that's going to cause some kind of toxicity. So just keep in the back of your mind that this person is unhealed, and it amplifies unhealed behavior. So that is what they're exuding. Not necessarily that, doesn't mean that they don't like you or they like you or whatever, but they are dealing with their own personal self within. So kind of be, mindful of that when you are dealing with these kind of people, not just in the workplace, but in the world place or in the world period. And sometimes even in your family. Okay. Sometimes it could be these same people in your family all the time that is exuding this toxicity, and that always cause chaos and everything to the, to the family, to the environment every time they step into the room. So it's not just the workplace. It could be in any place that you're in. Somebody's always bringing toxicity and drama to the house, to the workplace. Okay, so keep your boundaries soft but firm. Keep it soft but firm. So when you are facing this individual that is bringing on this toxicity, you can be kind without oversharing, professional without being cold, warm without being available to anyone. So ignore them. Be yourself. Um, like I said, they're dealing with their own personal unhealed behavior, and it is exuding in the workplace. And I'm really, really surprised. And I just learned this, that some people come to the workplace, and that's the only people that they are associated with on an ongoing basis. So they could be dealing with loneliness. They could be dealing with, like I said, unhealed issues and unhealed behaviors. And I was very, very surprised to know that some people come to work to have friends, come to work because they don't have anybody. So, sometimes you just have to kind of ignore them. And like I said, stay firm, keep your boundaries soft, but stay firm with them. They have a tendency, if you stay firm and you stay professional without being cold, they kind of back off and they kind of leave you alone. hmm So, and also, excuse me, God. Okay, so um, don't join emotional grouping. And what I mean by that, if conversations are always negative in a gossiping environment or a draining environment, kind of stay away from those environments, because that's going to um, affect you and your mood. And like I always say, always stay elevated and stay into your feminine energy. Always be uplifted. Always exude a feminine energy, happiness, vibrant energy. But if you're always in that group, emotional group, always joining in that emotional group where the conversation is always toxic, that's going to bring down your energy. It's going to bring down your emotions. So your peace is more valuable than fitting in. Don't feel like you have to fit in these workplaces, because you do not. Ground yourself outside of work. Your feminine energy must be fed elsewhere, not at work. Your feminine energy must be fed elsewhere, not at work. Movement, creativity, stillness, whatever rituals that you do that is going to uplift and make you feel good. That is what you should be focusing on when you're grounding yourself outside of work. So, should not be the place you receive emotional nourishment. So, like I said, I was very, very surprised that how many people in the workplace come to have friends and different things like that. I'm not saying it's anything's wrong with having friends in the workplace, but what I'm saying is that workplace should not be your a place where you receive your emotional nourishment. You should have fulfillment other places. You should have fulfillment within yourself. Love yourself. First and foremost, love yourself. But you should not most definitely seek it in an environment that is toxic, or no. So you're going to leave. You're going to lead with calmness. This is another way that you're going to continue to be in your feminine energy in these toxic places. You do not need to dominate the room. Your presence, consistency, and emotional regulation speaks louder than competition could ever speak. So, being confident within yourself is the key, right? It is key, number one key. So, don't forget to thumbs up, guys. I appreciate you thumbing up the live. Um, if you miss most of this, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. All right. So, being in your feminine energy, guys, does not mean being passive. And a lot of people think that, but it doesn't mean being passive. You can be firm. You can set your boundaries with people. It doesn't mean passive. It means being self aware, emotionally intelligent, and energetically protected. That is what it means. Okay. So if you are in a female dominant workplace that feels heavy, remember, you are not imagining it, guys. Your feminine energy, your feminine intuition and energy is going to always tell you that you are not in an environment that is good for you. So you're not too sensitive, and you've allowed to choose. You're allowing to choose peace over being participating or accepted in that environment. So this is what we're going to just keep in mind. So just keep in mind, until next time, protect your softness. That is your power. Your feminine energy is your power. So protect your softness. Okay. So until next time, guys, until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to thumbs up the channel. I thank you for joining me tonight for Tea Time After Dark. And I want to say bye for now.